Hello, theme park fans, and welcome to episode 80 of the E-Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Ryan Barr.
Howdy.
Jalen Harvey.
I won, I bet.
And the Lord of the Flies himself, Tommy Hawkins.
Hey.
You got to post that picture on Twitter, Tommy, because that is seriously frightening.
It's like a fucking Green Goblin or something.
A lot has happened since our last show. Unfortunately for you, we didn't write any of it down. We have no show notes. We are flying blind. I am on pain medication, recovering from a pretty serious surgery last week. So we're just going to freeball this for the next hour or so and see what we come up with. While the guys come up with a topic to talk about, I'll do a quick, brief trip report, not the brief like Tim Grassi or Tommy Hawkins' brief trip report where it's 2 hours long. I'll do an actual brief trip report from my 6 nights on the Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas. And if you follow me on Twitter, you could see I had a pretty good time with it. Any vacation without your toddler child joining you is a good vacation. So I would just continue to encourage people who are becoming disheartened with theme parks or turned off by theme parks, especially Disney right now with the pricing hikes and the cutbacks, to consider cruising. And we've had an amazing time on Royal. We had a great time in Mexico at Costa Maya and Cozumel. Some amazing ports, some amazing experiences for, again, a fraction of the price of what we have to spend when we go to Disney World. Any questions? That's all I got.
What was the food like compared to the last one?
It's good. I feel like whereas Disney food on the cruise ship, at least, and the theme parks too, is not that good at all. I left again. I had lost I think 3 or 4 pounds my last Disney cruise in March. Royal Caribbean food is good, but it's just good enough to fill you up. You don't want seconds. You go, okay, that was good, but I can move on now. And I think they've hit that sweet spot in terms of their value, their economic value. Well, we got to give them their money's worth, but we don't want these people eating us at a house and home. So we ate in the main dining room on Allure every night. We didn't do any specialty restaurants. So it's funny, too, because when you travel with a kid, that kind of limits what you eat also, because you're kind of catering your meals toward them a bit. So not having a kid, I could have steak every night. I could have prime rib. I could have some of the more higher end dishes that normally I wouldn't dare eat because I can't enjoy them when my kid's with us.
Now you've flip-flopped between, so you've kind of done non-Disney, Disney, non-Disney. Does it reinforce your thoughts on the last Disney one? Like, do you look back on the Disney one a bit more affectionately, or what?
It's difficult to compare the two when you have a kid, because you have to realize when you're walking onto a Disney ship, you are there for your kid. And anything that happens to you or with you is inconsequential. It doesn't count. It doesn't matter because you're spending the money there for the kid. So much to the point, in October, we're going on our next Disney cruise. We're doing 5 nights on the Disney Dream going to Grand Cayman. So I am expecting to lose weight on the cruise. I am expecting to not like the food. I am expecting to not enjoy it as much as I enjoyed our 6 nights on Allure without our kid. But you kind of have to bake it into the cake beforehand. And of course, I think it's twice the price we're paying for the Disney cruise to bring the kid with us. So there's that part of it too. But I will say it's funny because one of the main reasons I didn't want to go on a Disney cruise when I didn't have a kid was because I kept hearing there are kids everywhere. There's kids everywhere. I felt like on the Royal Caribbean ship last month, there were more kids on that ship in adult areas. I went to adult trivia one night, and there are kids everywhere running around. I went to the jazz club every night, and there are kids running on the jazz club. I went to a couple of what were supposed to be adults-only activities, and they're full of kids. On a Disney ship, Disney does a great job at segregating the areas and saying no kids in this area, period. When I went to the pub at Disney on the ship, there were no kids anywhere to be seen.
Huh. Yeah,
I don't know.
it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that.
Maybe people like to just keep their kids up on them.
But like,
they
if you're
don't
if you're a family of 3, and recent, I don't know.
Yeah, that's also
like
true.
like you're not just going to leave the kid in the room by himself or whatever. But
You can't do that.
not if they're
Well,
really little.
Well, keep in mind that these ships have kids clubs, Royal
Right.
and Disney, and
Yeah.
so my daughter had no interest in going to the kids club without us being with her on the last Disney cruise. So we are working our way up toward our next cruise in a few months on Disney of getting her used to being in the kids club without us so we can go enjoy time without her. But those kids clubs are open until like 10, 11 p.m. So
I'm sure parents just don't feel like putting their kids in like basically daycare while they're on vacation.
true.
Some may feel guilty.
you
about
should.
that.
On a Disney ship, again, one, you're paying for it, and two, you need that time away from your kids to begin with. And three, the kids love those kids clubs. They're super interactive. They're really fun. If I was a kid, I would love to spend all day in one of those kids clubs. Have you seen the kids club on the Disney Wish? Come on.
Oh yeah, fuck them kids. I'm pulling up straight to the Imagineering Lab.
Yeah,
I'm just
are you
Yeah, so the
kidding me?
new
Fucking
ship
kids.
has like that Incredibles inflatable playground, right?
Yeah.
They have that, like a bunch of stuff they added. The Toy Story little thing for toddlers. That's
Let's get into that then, guys, because I have zero interest in it. So I've not. The only thing I've seen is the whole $5,000 drink or whatever it is. Like, have you
Right.
guys?
Well, someone went on a all expenses paid Disney Wish cruise, the maiden voyage, and she did not have a good time. Or no, what was it? She felt like she was working the whole time. It didn't feel like a vacation on her paid cruise. So let's start with a moment of silence for her.
Who is that?
Could you imagine getting a free
come
cruise and complaining about it?
Complaining about it. It didn't.
When you're supposed
I
to
didn't
be
get to
doing
enjoy
your
the ship
job.
as much as I wanted to. It didn't feel like a vacation. Let me tell you
It's your
something. The last
fucking
two
job.
times I have gone to Club 33. And I'm very fortunate to have gone to Club 33 many times. The last two times I've gone, it's been to interview someone for a story I was writing. And I didn't get to taste all the food. I only had one appetizer and half of an entree. I didn't get the fancy drinks. But I realized, wait a second, I'm in Club MFN 33. I should be appreciative of what I have right now and not go on Twitter and complain about it.
yeah. Because I feel like anybody else in their position would kill for that job. Like,
And
I don't-
honestly,
Yeah.
like if
And this-
you do feel that way after a trip like that, keep it to yourself. Nobody cares. How
Right.
about that?
or like I definitely am. I'm somebody who feels like you should be able to vent on your own social media. Fine, but I think you should also be prepared for people to say, "Are you out your goddamn mind?" Like, you're not in the sun having tourists scream at you for 24 hours. You're not digging some ditch. You're not doing lawn work. You're being paid to go around, take pictures, eat a bunch of free food that seldom people are going to be able to touch. Maybe be a little happy about your life and where you are right then and there. And maybe don't be a spoiled little bastard about it.
Interviewing Imagineers, you're the first person to try some of this stuff. Come on. People pay for these experiences. You get it for free and you still found a reason to complain about it.
Yeah. Anyway,
I can't think who you're talking about. I can't think who would make hypocritical statements on Twitter.
CW.
well, hold on.
Wait,
I
are you
don't
being
know who that-
sarcastic?
He doesn't know.
No, I genuinely don't know. I can guess who it might be. The same person who likes to rant and rave. Yeah.
who cries
Yeah,
about literally
the person.
everything.
I guess it's the person who turned up at outside Magic Kingdom when the parks reopened, whenever it was that year, July that year, and then even though people were outside, grouped in their same parties, she was like, I can't do it. I need to leave. I can't possibly be outside with all these people.
Yeah.
Like, having
see what
obviously got on an airplane to get there in the first place. So it was just like,
She should see what other journalists have to go through. Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
you're
a
not
journalist.
you're not in the fucking war zone somewhere right now reporting from goddamn the Middle East. You're not in fucking Ukraine on the ground reporting to CNN. You're on a fucking cruise ship. Like, come on. Just calm down a little bit. Like, your life is pretty cushy compared to a lot of other people's. Like,
Have
Jesus
some perspective.
You could
Read the room.
is there
and
not?
enjoy your
I can't
free
believe
shit.
that there's no objective, like, criticism to make about other things. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that I would go on a cruise and find absolutely everything wrong and like, but if you're objectively reporting on the cruise, then there's going to be other things you can complain about on Twitter, not,
Right.
I didn't have
Well,
a
let's
chance
talk
to
about
enjoy myself.
the $5,000 is it a hyper crystal drink or what is this? Kyber crystal or
It's the
hyperspace?
Kyber crystal. I have what it comes with right now. I pulled it up.
Go for it.
Somebody, I think, who is it? Scott. I'm going to hope I do not fuck this up.
Yeah, Scott Gustin.
Gustin.
Gustin, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Better. He basically broke down what it came with. It comes with like 4 drinks in one. It's like a cognac, some kind of kumquat drink, some kind of, Pappy Van Winkle's 23-year bourbon. Oh, damn, that actually sounds pretty fire, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's someone was like doing the old mental gymnastics. Oh, well, that's actually really expensive. That's so much a bottle, and it's like, well, look, they're putting about 3
that's not
drops
all,
of it
dude.
in the drink, and then saying, oh, it's got this in it, and they.
Oh, no, that's a shot. So that's 2 ounces, which is a regular pour for some fucking reason. You also get to keep all the cups. You get a hyperspace themed room decoration that you get to put in your room, and I don't know how the fuck that works. You get sparkling wine from the Skywalker Ranch, and you get a voucher to be able to go to the Skywalker Ranch over in California. It's not open to the public. It's something that you have to be invited to. So it is pretty, like, if you're a huge Star Wars fan, I guess it makes sense, but I don't think it makes sense to pay as much as that as you would.
Do you get tickets to Skywalker Ranch or Skywalker Vineyards?
Skywalker Ranch, which I guess is the same thing as the Vineyards.
Well, no,
Because
Skywalker Ranch is the production studio where they have all the offices.
It's probably Skywalker Vineyard, but right now it's saying Skywalker Ranch.
Okay, I think it's the Vineyards.
All right, well, Chris, you work in marketing, right? Does it matter whether the list of things you get is a good thing, or if they landed what they wanted to land, which is people talking about the Disney Wish and the cruise? And
Disney has no intention of selling more than 10 of these on any given cruise. They got what they wanted. They got all the publicity. Disney intentionally plants these Easter eggs or things to be found to be blown up on social media. Like, this is right down the middle for Disney PR.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
because headlines included new Disney cruise ship ... and that's what they wanted.
Yeah, and when you speak to certain people about people that have come from Imagineering over into other places, their obsession seems to be a very similar thing with things like, oh, these little Easter eggs in the queue to get people talking about this, that, and the ride, and they're actually not necessarily focused on building a fantastic ride. They're into this kind of vibe of like these little things, these little niche things that, Easter egg kind of things. And it's like, build the damn ride first and then worry about these other little things.
There's a great video that came out, and Ryan, you might remember this, that came out about 10 years ago, and it's on YouTube. It's called Wrestling Isn't Wrestling, or Wrestling Isn't About Wrestling. And if you look at what wrestling is today, none of it's about actually wrestling. It's about the panache and the show and the theming. Theme parks today, especially Disney, are not about theme parks. It's about the merchandise and the food and the Instagram walls. Very little of it is about actual theme parks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a whole nother conversation to think about where we're going as a fucking society. Because if fucking Sugar Factory can pull 1 million fucking people in and all their shit fucking sucks, something's obviously working.
But for me, it's like called me old fashioned, but build a really good ship that's got loads of really cool stuff so that the reports write themselves. Like, is it that difficult? If you've got to be that desperate that you need to plant an outrageous, sort of headline grabbing drink, then
Right, but this
you don't
is
feel
again,
that confident with the $1 billion cruise ship or whatever they paid
this
to build it.
is what, again, back to wrestling. This is what we call cheap heat. It works. It just works every time. And your diehard people may hate it, but the casual fans see it, and it gets the attention and the unearned media that they want. It's cheap heat. It's just cheap heat. It works.
But do you think they need to try with the cruise business? Honestly,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why turn away more money?
no, I'm not saying turn away more money. I'm just saying they could launch this new ship, and with the sort of clientele that they've got, will they not just fill those ships anyway?
To an extent, yes, but you got to remember when people book cruise ships, they book 2 years out. So you're trying to book stuff 2 years out. So in case of another global pandemic or God knows what in the next year and a half, a fascist takeover of America, I need that money now. I need that money. I need your deposit for your cruise in 2024 now. And so you always want to front load your marketing, and you're thinking about 2 years down the line. You want as much money as possible because anything could happen. And other cruise lines like Norwegian, like Royal Caribbean are getting better at attracting families. Disney doesn't want to be the largest cruise line company. They want to be the most expensive. And to do that, you have to give the illusion of value to people. And this is one way of doing it. There's more here for your money. And it's worth spending. We booked our cruise for October. 3 of us are going for 5 nights to Grand Cayman, $2,400.
How many nights?
5 nights. I could have booked that same cruise on Royal Caribbean for about probably $1,700. I could have booked it on Carnival for about $1,200.
Yeah.
And I got to spend $1,000 in plane tickets just to get down there to Miami to begin with. So it's a commitment. So they're going for a very niche audience, and you know what their audience want. Disney, again, you listen to Lynn and Jim in the survey work. They've surveyed this thing to death. And it's hard to get people also on cruise ships away from their favorite ship, the dream or the magic or the wonder or the fantasy. We love the dream. We book the dream again for October because that's our ship. That's what we know, we're comfortable with. We know where everything is. We know how it works. We know the crew. So if I'm going to get someone to book on the Wish, I've got to give them one more reason or one more carrot to get on that ship.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because the dream is going to, I believe it's going over to the Mediterranean when the Wish starts up full time, because the Wish will start doing those 3 and 4 night Bahamas cruises to Nassau and back. So, and they're sending the dream over to the Med in Europe.
I think the Ant-Man restaurant looked cool. Or I guess it's
that
just
looks
Avengers. I don't know. Looks
That was
fun.
Ant-Man themed.
Yeah.
It is Ant-Man themed, but it's kind of like all of them. Ant-Man's just like the main host of it.
Yeah.
That looked like one of the most fun things. They also have some kind of like dinner theater thing with the Frozen sisters about Anna being proposed to. I didn't really care any about any of that stuff, but like the Marvel thing looked cool. The Creature Stall thing looked cool. The Hyperspace Lounge looked cool. The Tiana restaurant looked gorgeous.
I didn't see a lot of like costume characters around. You know, you got Minnie, Goofy, and Donald, and the normal crew, but no like Marvel characters or Star Wars characters.
Yeah,
Thought that was
weird.
weird.
I bet those face characters are harder to
Keep on a ship hostage.
A cruise ship. Yeah, those contracts are 6 to 9 months long, so it's not like Disney where you can drive home at night.
Yeah,
in Orlando.
Yeah,
it's
I could not do that. Hats off to anybody who works on a cruise.
Is a Halloween cruise, so we are expecting it's Halloween on the high seas. So we're expecting more face characters and more of a diverse round of characters than what we get usually on a Disney cruise. So hopefully we'll see a lot of villains on a cruise.
Yeah,
I got to order my
they go
costume
hard too. The entertainers.
I'm going to go hard with my costume. I'm going to be Miles Morales.
Right. Are you just gonna get a bodysuit? What's it called?
I don't know. I don't know how those work.
Morph suit.
The morph suit. I don't know. Eric's gonna be
yeah.
Spider-Man.
It's kind of like it's a morph.
And my
It's a
daughter's
morph
going to
suit,
be
yeah.
what's the white one called?
A Spider Gwen.
Ghost Spider. She's going to be Ghost Spider.
Oh yeah, they did change her name, didn't she?
Yeah, Ghost Spider. And Eric will be Tobey Maguire, and I'll be Miles Morales. I have the hair to be Miles Morales too, so that's really good. We have the same.
Are you going to be the Thor one? You're going to be the fucking Thor one. Oh my god, that was.
Speaking
that
of,
was some
has
weird
anyone
words there.
seen? Why do I keep wanting to call this movie Ministry of Magic? It's been 2 months now.
The Fantastic Beasts?
No, MOM, Mayhem, Multiverse
Strange.
of Madness.
Oh,
Yes.
Doctor Strange?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
fuck with
Oh,
it.
I haven't watched it yet. I literally physically haven't had time to
Oh,
watch it.
Tommy,
but
come
it's my
on.
to-do list.
Did you watch it with Arya, Chris? Because that's kind of...
I did not know. That is too scary for her.
Yeah. I like it. I
I
put
like
it in
it.
my top 10.
I did. I liked it.
I don't have a list, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool.
And I'm a big fan of, I thought maybe, I'd be upset by the cameos getting killed off pretty instantly. But
Ryan.
it didn't piss me off. I
Wait,
like
what
Right.
cameos?
Tom Ryan.
the
Tell me
Illuminati.
Have you
Yeah.
seen Jurassic World? Without giving me spoilers for that, have you seen the
I
third
don't
one
remember
yet?
what cameos there are in.
There's not really any spoilers in Jurassic World.
Chris.
There's dinosaurs. Nobody dies.
I did actually. I saw Dominion when we got off the ship in Fort Lauderdale. When we got off the Lure of the Seas, that we literally rented a car. We drove to the Everglades, and then we drove to a movie theater in Fort Lauderdale because we were staying the night. And I said, let's go see Jurassic World Dominion. We go to the movie theater, an old school movie theater, like something out of Stranger Things with the red carpet on the wall and shit like that. It was really weird. What's
sounds
the other
about
one
right.
besides AMC? What's the other company called?
Regal.
Cinemark?
Regal.
Oh, yeah.
Regal. It was a Regal
Oh
theater.
yeah, Regal's trash.
It was like walking back in time. So
Yeah.
there were like 3 or 4 moments in the movie where I just go, and Erica's like, what? I'm like, just, all right, let's
I didn't
come
like
on.
it that much.
Do they have
I didn't like
recliners?
it that much.
This one did not.
Oh boy, did they?
one did not.
Did they have a 40x theater?
No, it was a standard definition. It was an oldie.
Yeah, that's a.
But the
Regal.
movie itself was that was a little rough to watch.
I did not
It's
like
There's
so
it.
like one
long.
death in the whole movie. There's like one person dies in the whole freaking movie.
Yeah, and it's so
It
long.
wasn't. It just wasn't the perfect movie to kind of wrap things up because they were kept being like, "Oh, this is going to be the one that wraps up all this saga." And it just felt like episode 9 all over again. Like it just.
Yeah.
So where?
Yeah.
So again, please don't try and spoil it for me. But where do they go from here? Like in terms of a franchise, I'm just trying to think like long term with
Pokemon.
because with what Universal have got, right? Obviously,
Right.
we kind of know what's going. Well, we do know what's going in Epic 100%. We know there's expansion spots. We know that there's room for a 4th park at some point. Where do they go as a business in terms of their major tentpole franchises? You know, like Fast and Furious is getting to that point where that's going to be done.
Oh, I think
know-
you just hit the nail on the head without even thinking of
Yeah,
it.
there's one
Both of
part in
them.
this movie.
Just
There's
make
one part in
Fast
this
Kiss
movie.
Jurassic
No.
World.
There's one part in Dominion that feels like a backdoor pilot or a proof of concept.
Yeah,
For
Morocco.
what a Fast and Furious / Jurassic Park would look like, which I'm down for, but my problem with Dominion is I went back and I watched all the movies that mattered, and I started with Jurassic Park 1. And that movie's just so good and so pure and so like it's so fucking good. And Fast and Furious is so like bonkers bullshit. Like, and I just don't like the two of those meshing. It's like if Charlie Sheen started, I don't know, stooping Jack McBrayer. Like, it would be so weird. It would be so weird. It's like this is really dumb,
Well, and
raunchy piece of shit.
It'd be like if they
The
made a
thing is-
Jaws 3.
Isn't there a
The
job?
thing
3
is
days.
too is that so since our first ever time watching Jurassic Park, it's when you were a kid. What is the first thing you thought of? What would happen if there was a dinosaur in my backyard? You know, what would that be like if I'm going to school as a dinosaur? And they just barely touched that. They had the Battle of Big Rock, which was great. The kind of mini film they released in front of Fast and the Furious, I think it was. Then they had the other mini film they released, but they didn't put it in the movie this time. Hopefully it'll be in the director's cut, which is coming in the second week of August, I believe. And they just kissed the dinosaurs in the real world without really hitting on it too hard. And I am a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World super duper fan in this household. Half of our house is dinosaurs, more so than Disney or anything else. It's dinosaurs. We have the app where we can follow dinosaurs in the real world. We have the video games, the toys, everything in this house, dinosaurs. And so I really want Dominion to be more of what would happen, not in the big fantastical scenes like the Morocco chase, but what happens as a dinosaur in your backyard? How do you? And then they end the movie by going, well, dinosaurs and humans just have to learn to coexist.
And how to figure it out,
fucking coexist. What's it like? I'm walking my kid to school and a fucking pterodactyl comes and plucks her out of into the sky. What? They can't coexist. No, that's the movie.
They definitely could have done better by upping the tone a little bit. You know, in the first Jurassic World, this lady just dies.
Upping the stakes.
Yes. Oh yeah, she gets
show some show some gore, show some stuff. Like show some
one person dies in the whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was for me, like, and I blurted out like with just me saying Pokemon, but not more so like that. There's like y'all know the very scene at the end, and I won't spoil it too much for Tommy, but we see fuck. I'm doing my best not to spoil this, but we basically see a little girl interact with a dinosaur, and Alan is like, I'm never going to get used to that. And that's what I mean. It's like these two things are now coexisting. And I see it getting to the point where they're pets, where they get domesticated, where it's just like any other wild animal. And they already try to do it with this, where they're domesticated, and there's good dinosaurs, and then there's good dinosaurs that fight the bad dinosaur. And I feel like that's where it's going to go, to the point where it's like Digimon and Pokemon, where you have somebody who grows up with dinosaurs, and they're like a team taking out bad shit.
The worst thing about Fallen Kingdom was the cloning. She's a clone, this and that. And they like turn that up to 11 in this movie. I hated the whole cloning bullshit.
That was a retcon.
Just, like,
it was a
skip all this.
retcon.
Skip all this.
I wanted the tone from that opening of The Lost World where the girl gets eaten by compies.
Yes!
Just keep that tone for this whole movie.
Yeah.
Well, and if you've read the original Michael Crichton book, that's how the book opens, is with the compy scene.
It opens.
So it's a great kind of, again, those two worlds colliding, but I mean, to me, it's not a bad film, Tommy. It's not bad. Like, I'm never watching this again. It's still dinosaurs rampaging. It's just,
I think it's better than I think it's better than Fallen Kingdom, honestly. But it's not same.
Yeah, same.
But I mean, I'll probably enjoy it to a certain point, but all what you guys are saying is basically they didn't stick the landing. So I'm thinking if they'd stuck the landing, if it had been this incredible thing, then that does open the door for going, okay, right, we can build, I don't know.
Oh, there's another film coming. Frank Marshall's already confirmed there's another film coming. They said it was the end, but there's a fourth Jurassic World film coming. So the franchise is not dead. There's a TV show, Camp Cretaceous, season 5 comes out here in a couple weeks. So we're good.
5?
That's the last season.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is there's nothing. If you want to build something now, if you want to build something in 5 years, 6 years time, you've got to think about it now. So there's nothing now sitting on the table that says we can justify spending this money, putting this into our park. Like it's just not there, is it? It's not.
Yeah,
I think so.
Really,
I think there's enough to. I think there's enough to at least transform the rest of the land into all Jurassic World.
Yeah,
that should be on their to-do list. I think
you're talking about islands, right? I'm talking about an expansion pack. I'm talking about having a 20-acre plot and thinking, well, what can I do with it? Do you know what I mean?
No. If they can build a whole mini land off of Kong, they can. I mean, Jurassic World does not flop by any sense.
No, I never said it did. I'm just saying there's nothing that's going to go right. Okay.
There could be.
I think they could do something epic with it. They could.
Yeah. I think they
got Harry Potter in 3. You're gonna have Harry Potter in 3 parks. You can do Jurassic Park in multiple parks. I think.
Yeah.
It's difficult though because of what's potentially going in. What's potentially what is probably going into the new park now. They can't just lift the Jurassic World ride that they've put in Beijing and put it there, because it literally will have the same discussion about screens as what we'll be having about this particular ride system. So
the big mountain with the aviary is cool.
That Beijing ride's got a fucking Indominus Rex that chases your vehicle. Ain't no one gonna be talking about screens coming off that ride. Ain't no one talking about a screen on that ride.
But no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's very likely that we're basically going to get off of. Basically, we're going to get the third iteration of Spider-Man going into Ministry of Magic. That's pretty much sounding like what's going to go. I don't know that for sure. Yeah. That's not someone telling me that. That's me guessing from the construction and what they're building and everything else. Is that it's looking likely that we're going to get next level Transformers, next level Spider-Man, which is those scoops on a bus bar system. And that's exactly what they put into Jurassic World, the Indominus ride. Monsters is going to be KUKA, but with physical sets, not screens. So I'm not saying it's going to be people are going to be complaining about screens. I'm saying that there's going to be the discussion about screens, but about that same kind of bus bar scoop ride. They've just built another. Do you know what I mean?
But
I don't think you would have any complaints if you put that Beijing ride in Epic Universe. You would have
as long as we get
the
Indominus AA in some form. I'm happy.
Yeah. You'd have no complaints.
Fucking Fantasyland over at Disneyland basically has all the same rides the same ride 4 times with like different characters. Nobody fucking cares. If it's good, people will fuck with.
That's why I hate Magic Kingdom. It's the same old crap.
But you haven't been to Disneyland yet. You got to go out to California and experience
Tommy hates
that.
dark rides. You heard it here.
Tommy hates West Coasters. No, I'm joking. Shout out to my West Coast friends. Love you, really.
All right. So that's
We're
Jurassic
talking
World.
about movies.
Anything else from movies then?
Do you want to touch on Lightyear and that fucking Minions and all that? I
didn't see it. I'm not going to see it.
Yeah, Lightyear seems like a flop.
Jalen, did you go to Minions in a suit, or is that a white boy thing?
No. Fuck no. No, those doing it, but I don't fuck with.
We can't.
That was 3442.
3440, please. Mark that down.
You know how long it takes me to find the beeper tone
40.
to beep that
I'm so sorry.
My chat is Dusty's coming, dude.
I'm sorry, dog. I completely forgot, son. I completely forget. But no, I didn't go see Minions. I just know everybody's been going back and forth about that whole thing. And I mean, Minions is a damn meme movie. The kids who grew up with it are all massive memers. Of course they were going to turn out for this movie. I don't think any other animated movie that drops this year is going to do as good as Minions. I don't think, period.
Probably not. But I don't think it'll win any awards.
Here's a suggestion or not even a suggestion for you. With like Top Gun going crazy, like doing $1 billion or whatever it is. Do you think something like that would end up somehow in a park?
You want the Scientology fucking museum in the middle of Epic Universe?
They may not have.
I'm not talking about Epic. I'm just talking about in general the principle of like.
No, I can see that.
Well, Tommy, my first ever
has the chance. It's a fool not to.
My first ever roller coaster with an inversion was the Top Gun roller coaster in the early 90s. I think it was. I want to say Kings Island in Cincinnati, Ohio. So
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah,
they had one at Canada's Wonderland too.
Okay, yeah. So some company may already have those rights to that. And I love that coaster. Top Gun, the coaster was it had a barrel roll, some really good inversions on it.
I think they should just overlay Guardians with the screen footage of the fucking Top Gun Maverick that everyone's been raving about. Clint from Thrill Geeks went and saw it about 5 times, didn't he? Saw it in every possible format. So he was loving it so much.
Wow. Yeah, I would love to see it in 40X.
I don't even want to see it. I'd want to see it in IMAX because we've got a proper IMAX in London. But you've seen them stupid ScreenX things where it's like 90
4 different screens, right?
Yeah, it's just weird. Just some weird novelty thing.
But back to Minions. Back to Minions. The movie is out. It's popular. What is Universal waiting for in terms of an announcement for what's replacing Shrek and the Monsters Cafe? Like, literally, what are they waiting for? Also, what are they waiting for with Horror Nights? We're, what, a month and a half? No, 2.5 months away. So, like, what are they waiting for?
They want.
Well, they already confirmed that Black Phone. Say what? Go ahead. Sorry, Wakes.
I feel like I think summer bookings may have been a bit soft with inflation and the economy, and they don't want to preload a fall campaign so they get the most out of a summer campaign and getting you to buy a ticket in July so you don't wait and buy one for October instead. They're trying to double dip a little bit.
Okay, I can see that. I know that they did like announce kind of a backdoor way of saying that the Black Phone was going to be, and that's the only other house that I've heard has been officially announced, and that was actually through AMC, who was doing some kind of like sweepstakes.
Yeah, so they got the house, the Monsters.
That too.
The Dracula versus Wolfman, right? Or is it Dracula versus the Mummy?
It's Drac. I think it's Drac versus the Mummy.
Yeah,
because the Mummy.
I think Drac versus the Wolfman was a movie.
All right, so don't bother explaining to me all these little things because I really don't care. But are you guys like waiting on some big like sort of mainstream one? You know, like the Billie Eilish type announcement, or are you?
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be The Weeknd, but I think that could I think that's what they're waiting to pull the trigger on the most is that house, because that'll bring the most normies to the park.
All right, fair enough.
And I mostly would just like to see the lineup of what they're going to do. I think they talked about shopping the pumpkin one from last year and doing a sequel for that one since Little Boo blew up. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do some kind of media campaign with merch for him. I honestly really don't know. I just would like to know what the fuck is going on so I can start my marathon.
Well, they also announced Halloween, classic Halloween house.
Oh yeah, the 15th fucking Halloween house for the same goddamn year. Like Jesus Christ, it's like the Toy Story land of Halloween Horror Nights.
It's so odd that they haven't done like, I guess it's a rights issue, but why wouldn't you do it for the Halloween movies that just came out? You know?
Hell, they're doing Nope, and I think maybe you might want to wait to see how those movies do in theaters before they drop. But I would have announced the Nope house just given off the fact that. Well, the movie's not out yet, and I'm pretty sure the final cut's not done, or it may not be done. So, who knows? Who fucking knows? What else came out this year? Yeah. I know they're doing Fear Street, too. Like, I think they're finally going to pull.
When it comes to movies that aren't out yet and they don't own, it's kind of hard to... You're up to, like, their discretion to when you can announce it. And honestly, like, rumor maps aside, we do not know what exactly is going in. Because there's been years where, you know, Scream was pretty much set in stone up until a month and a half before.
Apparently, one of the houses this year is actually in the Fast and Furious queue, which is completely new. I haven't seen that being done. So I wonder what's going on with
Billie
the other...
Eilish cruise ever get, or the house ever get off the ground?
Jesus.
No, it was supposed to happen 2020.
That's right. Okay.
I think that was over in Hollywood, right?
I thought it was.
I think it was for Orlando. Yeah, it was for Orlando too. I don't want to. I can.
So obviously, Alicia's spoken about it on videos or whatever, but on podcasts. But in terms of the Minions ride that they're building, not even a ride, not a walk through, a stand through ride
conveyor
is the other half. They're still keeping for Horror Nights. So I don't know whether they would put something in that this year, considering they've not touched it, or whether it's just they need the construction zone. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and we've been talking about for a decade now about a permanent, the way they used to have in Hollywood, year-round haunted house.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
The wear and tear on them things must be incredible. So I can't see.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm thinking there's going to be 5 houses and sound stages, as opposed to the usual 4. 1 in the fast queue, 2 in Sent 2 in Kids Zone, 2 in next to Men in Black. But they're not using the Men in Black tent for that's in their extended queue for some reason.
Well, honestly, those were always the shittiest ones because they were the smallest ones. I never really liked them.
They tore that MIB one down because they were supposed to be tearing down Fear Factor, and then that's still not happened.
Oh, you're right.
They basically pulled the broomstick ride for USF. So
yeah, the scare actors
stopped there.
Scare actors won't be complaining because that was probably the worst house to work too, because you had to walk fucking mile to get back to your break room.
Hell, it didn't even have air conditioning, right? I remember walking in that and it just smelled musty. And
it's like a wedding pavilion, basically.
Oh fuck no! That's get OSHA on the phone. Can
someone
ridiculous.
Explain to me? And I've asked this a few times before. What are they doing or not doing with that Matt Hoffman BMX stadium? That is a whole land's worth of space. Ryan, what's happening over there still? It's been like...
That is still like for one time a year is cheerleading headquarters.
Cheerleading, yeah.
And then they actually redid the seats inside of it a couple of years ago.
Oh,
because for a while they were just like metal benches.
Is that the one next to Toon Lagoon?
Yeah, haven't heard anything about that. We won't see them.
It's not that big a space. It's only about an acre.
If you tear it down in the building behind it, you got something, and it's kind of
like
on a hill too. But
but what I'm getting at is not in terms of real estate. It's not that big. It was something that
look at where they put
hold on to.
They made out of that.
No, but what I'm saying is it's something you'd hold on to till you was ready to pull the plug on everything with Toon Lagoon and just redo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can see why it's more used to them for TMs and then whatever other stuff. But
hell, I feel like that's the same reason why they haven't turned down Sinbad. That whole fucking set is still there.
Yeah, the Sinbad stage is pretty sad.
Hell, the Sinbad stage, if I'm wrong, they use that for Hagrid's overflow if it gets really bad.
They still do, because it's still the queue for Hagrid's is a goddamn mess. All right? I don't know how they designed that ride and said, let's keep the same problematic queue building, except we'll gut it out and lay it out even worse than before. Make the cave parts longer and more claustrophobic. Great idea.
When I first came out in 2019, when it had only been open 3 months and it was getting all the shit, like it was still moving people through, and you might go through the front part of the Sinbad without going in the actual theatre part, just on the rope drop, and then by the afternoon it wouldn't even be anywhere near that.
Right. No, but there were days where we were literally it's usually just the morning rush where we're using Sinbad, but that courtyard section could hold so many people. So many, like we probably had more capacity in that area than the entire queue that we were assigned.
But no, what I was going to say is where one of the drop towers was down on the last trip, which in theory, it got all the shit the 3 months after it opened, and now 2 years down the line, because I think one of the drop towers was completely out the whole time I was out in Orlando.
Yeah.
The throughput was ridiculous. It was 45, 50-second dispatches, or it wasn't what it was when I was there before.
So they were so it was really slow moving platform.
It's just really slow. Everything was really slow.
That's actual torture, because the walkway is moving too slow for you to walk on. It actually hurts more than if it's moving fast. And then on top of that, 800 an hour maybe. So that's actual hell. The line doesn't move. The Sinbad Courtyard, I can't believe to this day they're still using it, even after a year plus after Velocicoaster's open. They still are using the Sinbad Courtyard, and they're cutting in front of the shop in Lost Continent and the Hogwarts Express. They have to leave gaps in the line for those.
Well, that's what they were saying, because I know that Velocicoaster gets about 1,700 an hour, pretty much. I think it's been running a little bit less lately for staff issues, but it's between 1,200 and 1,700 an hour, mostly 1,700, and Hagrid's wasn't even coming close to that. You were going you could basically do 2 trips on Velocicoaster in the time you do one ride on Hagrid's. It was so slow, incredible.
Thanks, Intamin. Making one ride that's a people eater and the other is a technical disaster.
Well,
So,
Jalen, what do you think the queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure will look like?
I don't fucking know. Honestly, I don't. I'm not. I don't fucking know. They. Well, first off, I'm glad that they announced an Essence Fest. I thought that was really cool. That they.
yeah, I thought that was great.
It was a great synergistic move all the way around, targeting your main audience, targeting, the Louisiana crowd where you're already down there working with some people. Like where Tiana's from, going to the restaurant where basically she was inspired by it. It was a great idea. I love it. I don't know what the ride's going to
Some
look
people
like.
are telling me this is the worst thing to happen in a Disney park in 50 years. I wonder
Well,
why.
that's because they probably haven't had any type of human connection in their whole entire life. And this
They
is their
just
whole life.
really like Brer Rabbit. Who can forget those lovable characters?
Oh, they really like that little pickaninny rabbit, huh? They really like that old soft shoe rabbit, huh? They really like that, huh?
Don't forget the fox.
Oh, don't forget the fox, that old jigaboo ass fox. They
Fox is one of their
really
favorite.
love that. Oh shit, that thing
In
should
the
be
words of
sponsored by
Family Land episode, American Dad, it's just
Yes.
a metaphor for a slave.
It's just oh my god, like it's so bad. Like it's one of the most spectacularly done examples of racism
That
ever.
was 25 minutes of unadulterated racism.
Oh my
so
god, no!
It would have been if you hadn't interrupted. Sorry, I'm
It should be
quoting
sponsored by fucking
American Daddy.
Bojangles. Like I swear to God, it's. Oh
So many
my
were
God.
so fixated on the mountain thing. Oh, it's not going to be called a mountain anymore. Oh, what are we going to do? There aren't 3 mountains anymore in Magic Kingdom.
Come
are
on,
you kidding
let's-
me? It hasn't been that way since. It was only that way since '96 after Splash Mountain
Oh, the
opened.
last mountain we
Let's
got
shine a
was-
light on what they're really saying is they're trying to find other ways to diminish the Tiana ride because they want their precious Splash Mountain to stay. That's what it is. Like the names don't matter. Like you said, Ryan, when you responded to someone, it was a marketing gimmick. Get over it. Like the days of Eisner are gone. Like get beyond that. Like
Hell,
get
like,
past that point. Be honest. You don't want it to change to that. Like just be honest about people are just not saying what they really want to say. And clutching at straws and finding.
They're acting like they're acting like they're doing this to Haunted Mansion or Pirates.
No,
it's not
because
sacred.
If we're being fucking honest, it shouldn't have been built in the first goddamn place.
And here's the deal.
Like everything.
A lot of people, including people of color, didn't really see it as insensitive or racist or whatever you want to call it until it was pointed out. Then people said, oh my gosh, you're right. I can see that. That's wrong. Let's change it or make it better. And the other half said, oh, it can be seen as racist and I have an opportunity to be insensitive to marginalized people? I'm going to dig in my heels. Now I really love it.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, though, Chris.
I
This is
love
exactly what I'm
Great
getting
Movie
at.
Ride. It's the best ride ever. I never wanted to go away. And they hadn't gotten on Great Movie Ride in the last 10 years.
Damn
They
near
dig in
always
their
empty.
heels.
Damn near always empty. Hell, Living with the Land got more people in the goddamn line than fucking GMR had. Like,
Right, can we put, like, without going into too much DL, let's put a few little of these other little things from those same types of people digging in their heels, right? Let's put some of these little things to bed, right? The one that's floating around from a certain mouthy Mike TV. Oh, they're not going to spend any money on it. That like they're going to just reuse old AAs, blah blah blah. Or there's a certain account, an anti-COVID, anti-vaxxer, a COVID kind of conspiracy theorist account claiming the other day. Well, WDI only just went down on a trip to visit New Orleans on the 13th of June. Come on, like anybody listening, we know, without going into too much, we know that they've been working on this ride for pretty much since the time when they said they were going to build it. At least it's not the what I'm getting at is, again, they're trying to diminish the people. They're trying to diminish the ride. They're trying to say, oh well, they're not going to spend any money on it. Oh, they're not going to do this. Oh, they're already shitting on something that's not even been in the process of construction yet, and yet they're set that it's like a certain orange blonde haired nut job who was saying before the election, "Oh, it's rigged." Like they're already predicting something. They're trying to set it into the world as fact before the things even started to be built.
They're trying to speak it into existence, and
exactly
they can't reuse any of the old AAs. None of them friggin' work. If you go on that ride right now, you will see that everything is broken, literally.
Yeah, and there's a practical fit. There's
the hopping Brer Rabbit animatronic, which cost over $1 million back in the day, hasn't moved in years.
Like 5 years, I haven't seen that thing move, and that was one of the most impressive things about that fucking attraction. Like, honestly, at this point, first off, they're going to reuse the AAs. The AAs were reused the first time. All they had was just America Sings ended, and they had all these animal AAs, and they needed something to fucking do with them. And Tony Baxter's dumbass was like, yo, let me go ahead and build a really racist ride for my childhood over it. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. So
this is the other thing that people are hiding behind. Oh, well, Tony Baxter's working on the project. Like, literally, they're going to call him up and say, oh, Tony, right, so we've got to this point of the ride. When you did this, like, what did you have to do with this, and this? He's going to give them, like, technical freaking...
That's it.
Insight into the ride. They haven't gone, right, Tony, right, what do you want to do for the story of the ride? He hasn't got that kind of consult. They're just paying lip service to the fans or whatever you want to call them,
But why?
Right, because Disney didn't take many of Baxter's ideas as they were formed. They kind of chopped them up.
Yeah. I mean, he did some chopping himself, but we're not going to touch on that. Like, it's just I'll be the first person to say it. If you're somebody who loved this ride, it doesn't automatically make you racist. But if you're sitting here and you're grandstanding and acting like the racism never occurred or that it doesn't matter because you just want to be able to have some kind of thing from your childhood still exist, that's fucked up. Like, I get it. This was something that you loved as a kid, and as a kid you were ignorant to what it was and how messed up it was. But now you're older and you're trying to deny that it's messed up when there's people who have been excluded from this community, whether financially or by culturally, from being able to visit these parks. And it's just been super insensitive. So, like, grow the fuck up. The thing that you love was corrupt and fucked up. I'm sorry that you have to come to that conclusion, but it's real, and that's why it needs to change.
The one that winds me up, though, is when the people are using the... Well, I would have wanted Tiana to have her own ride, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're not saying that. Like, I would say that because she's literally my favorite princess. I would want a Tiana ride in every single park. Put one in Animal Kingdom. I don't give a shit.
You know what that sounds like?
Put one in Hollywood Studios next to the Tower of Terror. I don't care. I want one in every park because I love her. But... like, using that as an excuse when really what you're saying is, I don't want this ride to be built. Like let's put it somewhere else. It's someone else's problem. Let's put it somewhere. Well, where? Like, what do you propose they build, and where exactly do you propose they build it? And as soon as you ask them two questions, they're like, well, I don't know.
It's not my job.
What's wrong with this project? And what's wrong with what they're proposing?
There are a certain group of people, a sect of people in America, who once you tell them something is inappropriate or insensitive or whatever, they use that as an opportunity to then fall in love with it and double down on it and make it their entire identity.
Right. It becomes part of their personality.
The CDC, remember how during COVID people were wearing the neck gaiters, kind of those neck sleeves over their mouth and nose? And the CDC said, oh, actually, those aren't as safe as masks. Every redneck in Indiana went out and bought those to go, oh, look at me. I'm counterculture. I'm subversive. Look, I'm not following the rules. Like, there's probably 30% of the population in America. Once you tell them you probably shouldn't do that, they're going to go, I'm going to do it anyways. Fuck you. And that's what this is here.
Well, anytime I hear people say, oh, Tiana should have got her own ride, that gives me some separate but equal vibes. Like, that just gives me some weird, oh, so you don't want her to be integrated into the zeitgeist. You want her to be able to have her own thing somewhere else.
Because what they're really saying is she is like, again, I'm not the biggest Splash Mountain fan at all. but I appreciate for a lot of people it's up there in that like kind of e-ticket blue ribbon ride, right? What they're really saying is she's not worthy of taking that mantle and sitting on that mantle as that e-ticket ride. That's
and it's
really
a straw
what
man argument anyways, because if they would have said Tiana's got her own ride, Magic Kingdom, they would have bitched about that too. They would have said, oh, what about Merida? Oh, what about so-and-so? Oh, what about Bo Peep? So it's a straw man argument. They're lying. They didn't even take them at face value, these people, because they would have bitched about that too.
Yeah, and so far, and I've got to say credit to Jack on DSNY. He's the only one that said, look, well, I personally... Like, he's basically embracing the ride. You know, he's not saying anything bad against the ride in that respect, but he's saying, I'm not mad keen on the name. Here, they could have gone with this, they could have gone with that. And his suggestions are fair suggestions. It wasn't nothing about Splash, but he was like, oh, well, they could have gone with this. I'm not mad keen on the name, but not in a way that some of the other people are, where certain people are going, oh, well, they should have, why didn't they call it Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, sponsored by Coca-Cola? And it's just tweets like that. And I'm just like, look, what you're really saying is don't change Splash Mountain. Like, that's it. I don't want Tiana in that park. She's not worthy.
What did Braden have to say about it? Has anyone heard from him?
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, no, God. I don't want to hear what that
is. Yeah, he was like obsessed with the mountain thing.
He will find anything to hang his little dick on. Like, Jesus.
Anything to diminish it. Anyway.
Another thing of staying in the Magic Kingdom, they replaced the TTA People Mover spiel. And I love it because the old one, or not the old one, but the previous one was annoying as shit. And they also gave new outfits and hair to the family of Carousel Progress in the last scene.
Tron, come in 2035. That kind of vibe.
Yeah, you know, I like anytime Tomorrowland gets some attention, I'm all about it. They just need to put something in the Stitch.
It gave fan service to 80s Disney. They mentioned if you had wings, admission to Mars, and oh my God, it's amazing. It's Epcot.
It is amazing, Chris. Shut up, okay? They need to bring back Mission to Mars in the Stitch's Great Escape.
Ryan, I will kill you. I will kill you. I will kill you where you stand.
While we're talking about the whole thing, though, so we've obviously had these private discussions off the air about timelines and stuff like that. So talking about Tron and Splash Mountain going down, I've said obviously that Tron could be ready by October, which would mean that Splash would probably go down around the time because the park has so few rides that they literally cannot spare that ride going down with nothing to replace it before Christmas, which would put it in a 24 kind of month timeline before Tiana's open. Have you guys got any other thoughts on that? Or would you go disagree with that? Agree with that?
I kind of want to segue that to our next topic here to finish off the show. I want to ask you, coming up here next month, we have D23. So I want to get from each of you a handful of D23 predictions, and that can be one of them.
Ooh, I didn't have time to think. I want to do a special show about this.
Maybe we can just throw out ideas. Just throw out like some blank. Just throw out a sentence, Ryan. Just throw out like something.
It'll be D23. We'll have come and gone by our next episode. So,
right. I'll let Tommy go first.
If you're, the timeline dictates that if you're waiting until September for them to talk about what I just spoke about, I think you're wrong. Will they have anything? I don't think so. I think we'll be lucky if we get the Primeval Well replacement.
Well,
you've got to think about it, right? To have something to announce, they should have been working on it already. We know that they got rid of a bunch of people.
Keep in mind, they announced Avatar Land and didn't start building it until 3 years after they announced it.
Jesus, yeah.
So we're now in the territory of, well, they haven't even got the idea, so they're going to pre-announce the idea what they haven't had.
That's the precedent they've set.
It and then build it.
Done that before.
Yeah?
You're talking Imagineering 101.
Here's my prediction, okay? We get a good look at the water thing from Moana at Epcot. Yeah. And then a reveal, phase 2 of Epcot. with concept art.
Have they done a phase 1?
They haven't finished phase 1 yet, but they're going to announce phase 2 of the neighborhood thing, and they're going to actually do something in the Wonders of Life building. And
or like
Maybe.
knock it down,
maybe
please.
They ain't knocking that thing down after retiring.
Horizons.
I
What else, Ryan? What else? Keep going.
All right. What else?
Mary Poppins.
I mean, Hollywood Studios is
believe
pretty
that.
sad still. They got to do something with the animation courtyard. Something.
Knock
Will
it
they?
down.
We're asking your predictions. What are they going to announce?
Frig, man.
All right. So here, let's go part
If you
by
spend
part.
more than 30 seconds thinking about it, you know the answer's
not gonna
not a
happen.
lot.
Part by part. Will see anything announced for Magic Kingdom? I don't think so.
I don't think Magic Kingdom, no.
Well,
Okay.
actually, no. I do have something theorized for. Magic
Oh, I'm
Kingdom.
sorry. Well, yeah, Tiana, actually.
Well, not just that, but I feel like, and this is across the board for just about every major Tomorrowland. I feel like every major Tomorrowland is going to get a refresh. I think every Tomorrowland is going to get a refresh, backing off of whatever the hell that they're doing over in Tokyo and trying to bring some of those things over there. We know that they sometimes have Tokyo foot the bill for some things, the development of some things.
All
so
right,
we might have
okay.
to think come this way.
I'd
Because
say
Tomorrowland has already been softly reset over time. Like it's
Can we get
slowly
something
been.
specific, Jalen? That's not this over. That's not this vague. Like they'll do
That's
something.
not specific. Every Tomorrowland is going to get something in it. Motherfucker, the fucking
Like
Stitch
what?
building is
What
sitting there.
and where? What and where? This
I
isn't
don't fucking
WWNT.
know, dog.
We need details.
I don't got no motherfucking details. I'm guessing, same as anybody
All right,
else.
I
here.
want
What
them
the
to
fuck
build
you talking about?
a dark ride in between Carousel of Progress and Buzz. Put in another
don't-
dark ride right there.
You want them to? Will they announce it?
That
This is the wish list. What are they going to announce? Do you guys not listen?
do you want my
you
serious
looking
answers
so
yet
damn
or not?
specific?
I'm going to wait until
Yeah.
they fudge answers. I think
What the
I think
fuck
we'll
you want
probably
to do?
get more details on Tokyo Space Mountain. I suspect that it will be the Cosmic Rewind ride system. I've done I don't know what you want to call it, the maths on it. Physically, they can build, like, basically where they're turning the old Space Mountain building into a Belgian swirl or whatever it's called, a nice Cinnabon. That could be where they put the equivalent to the energy building and then build a gravity building way behind. I think we'll probably get an announcement on the Avengers e-ticket, and I suspect the Avengers e-ticket will be the same ride system as Flight of Passage, because that will conveniently fit in both DCA, and it'll fit Paris if they ever want to build that out in Paris. I don't think we'll get much else. They could potentially, if they want, pre-announce Animal Kingdom expansion,
Yeah.
but my hopes are very low. I think that's it. But we're still talking stuff that's way off, way down the road. 5-6 years time.
I got a good feeling that we probably should hear something about, if we're going to Epcot, I think we're going to hear something about what the hell's going on in Wonders. I think we're going to figure out what the hell's going on with Moana. And this is just something that is my farthest reach. Something to be done with fucking imagination. Because everything else I think is fine in that damn park in terms of the rides that they already fixed.
Knock it down. Knock it down.
That's not going to fucking happen. They don't knock
it
down anything.
down.
Unless it's
No.
rotted to death.
They sell
Yeah,
way too much.
the upstairs might be.
I can see the upstairs getting completely.
They sell
And
way too
I
much.
Hey,
think for,
redesign the ride, but have you get on the ride on the second level.
I'd fuck with that. I
I
was just saying
one
after
thing-
Cosmic.
I wouldn't be
let me
surprised, and I'm hearing a bit more chatter about this from some very important places, not imaginary, but I would not be surprised. Yes, we'll get Tiana renderings, we'll get Moana renderings, stuff like that, the layup stuff, the easy stuff.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we get some kind of update, refurb, retheme, reskin of dinosaur in Animal Kingdom, along with the Primeval World Space.
Finally,
it's not coming from Imagineering, from what I'm hearing, but it's coming from enough places and the right places where I've seen it before, and I go, oh, okay. So, and again, this could just be, and Disney has done this before. They've just given the name of a ride or 10,000-foot view rendering, not detail specific.
I floated the idea because obviously we knew that the Primeval Well replacement wasn't going to be some big e-ticket. It was probably going to be something more off the shelf. And I floated the idea of doubling up on Crush's Coaster, lifting that from Paris. You've got the new Nemo show that's going to be more Finding Dory based. They could just do a Marine Institute or whatever it's called from the film, and then they could expand that out to Dinosaur and just completely do something different with Dinosaur. That would be a cheap new land.
From what I was told, from what I'm hearing, Disney spent a lot of money and time and research and surveying on Zootopia. They put it down and
that's what I was going to say.
They said, we're not doing that. No, thank you. We don't want to do it. And from what I'm hearing, it is being said, well, we've already spent the money on the research and the survey work and the yada, yada, yada. Let's just pull the plug and do it.
Yep, I heard the same thing. But they are. Yeah, I think that's realistic. We may get an announcement at D23 for that. I'm sure of it.
As I said to you about
that would include. Don't they have Zootopia somewhere else already? Is it like in Hong Kong or something?
It's going to Shanghai. It's going to
Shanghai. So I would expect something close to what's going into Shanghai because Disney loves to copy paste.
Yeah, Disney loves to build things times two. It's so much cheaper if you just order 2 of everything.
But what are they? If they lift that from that park, what is it they're building? What's the ride?
Who knows?
It's some kind of trackless. It's supposed to be some kind of trackless ride in the style of Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Oh, because I was just thinking the other day about how the Disney parks, Disney World really needs another trackless ride with that super reliable downtime that it doesn't get ever.
But you've got to understand, they don't worry about downtime. They worry about can grandma ride it and can a 3-year-old ride it.
Well, Mickey and Minnie.
Well, if you listen to what Len's constantly saying, downtime is a massive issue, and they know they're fully becoming aware of that issue.
It's an issue, but they don't care because you're going to go to a gift shop or a restaurant anyways.
It's an issue across the board, not just on this certain ride system. But I think we'll also see Star Tours scenes, new Star Tours adventures. Yeah. What was the other thing? Dreamer's Point, maybe Spaceship Earth, a refurbishment, unless they're completely killing that. That ride's gonna collapse to the ground if they don't do something with it.
Putting money in Epcot.
It's leaking water everywhere.
After Moana opens, they are done with no play pavilion, no neighborhoods, no overview space. They're done. They're going to retool and make the fireworks show even cheaper than before. They're done. It's over. Epcot's done. No new pavilions. Done.
No, I don't believe that either.
You want to bet?
I think they're just getting started.
Are you just trying to win your money back?
Bet off yet, so I wouldn't say you do.
No, you haven't even paid. You've been down to Florida like twice now, motherfucker. You better pay up.
I kind of agree and disagree. I don't think they're done with Epcot. I think they haven't got the money for Epcot for until the next cycle. I think they've realised that by actually putting something new in Epcot, it becomes a bit more marketable. But I can't see them. I think they've already agreed that the money for the next 5, 6, 7 years about how they're going to spend it. The little pittance that they're letting them spend on it.
There were rumors that Voyage of the Little Mermaid was going to be turned into an Encanto show. But they're also doing the live action Little Mermaid with Zendaya. I think that could be a good replacement.
It's not Zendaya. Zendaya's not going to. That's Chloe Haley. That's Chloe.
Oh, Haley. But she's in it, right?
Oh, no, Zendaya.
It's Haley Bailey. You're
You think black women all look the same, huh, Ryan?
I haven't heard anything about the movie in a while. I thought I remembered it being her.
Hailey Bailey's in it, and it's coming out in like July next year. It's like the longest wait ever.
Although I would take Zendaya in any movie. Zendaya and Zoe Kravitz can double team on a movie if they want.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoa.
So anyway, talking about all these decisions. All right. Last thing to talk about: a certain person has got his contract renewed for an extra 3 years. I was not surprised at all. I think there's a lot of people that really feel that they've been hoping that he would suddenly, that they would go, oh, yeah, get rid of him. It's not going to happen. I've been telling everyone for a long time that the thing that will make or break Chapek has got nothing to do with what happens in the parks at all. Mm-hmm. No, it's purely about what he does with Disney Plus. So if they don't come close to meeting the revised targets that they had, the 230 to 240 subscribers by 2024, then there is a good chance he's out the door. And it's funny that the contract conveniently runs out around that period when they get to that end of that period, and they're spending $9-10 billion a year on Disney Plus.
And just because he's been renewed for 3 years doesn't mean he's staying for 3. He could be gone in October. That's not you have to stay here, we have to keep you on. It's if we do, here's what we pay you.
They've just extended that option. But it makes logical sense that they've extended that option until they come to the natural conclusion of the business plan for Disney Plus. And it is worth remembering, as whether we love him or hate him, most people in the parks kind of fan base hate him. But, you know, when Kevin Mayer and Iger formed that business plan, and then they dropped Disney Plus and it did massively better than what they expected, and now it caused them to, you know, significantly raise their expectations of what they can get. It's doing really well. So in their eyes, he's not this person who's failing left, right and centre. Yes, he's severely making a lot of screw-ups. No one can deny that. But in terms of his primary role, which is turning the Walt Disney Company into a profitable version of Netflix, shall we say, at the moment, he's not doing the worst job at it. So you can kind of understand why they're giving him a little bit more rope.
I mean, it's tough to defend the stocks, the stock price, since he's joined as CEO is rough and can be used against him, I think.
Have you looked at all the other stocks though? Because it's great when people like isolate Disney, and I'm not saying this is defensive here. I'm just saying it's good when people go, oh, like all these certain people that, oh yeah, woke Disney. Oh, look at their stock price. Look, since they've become more woke, blah blah blah. And it's like, if you look at their stock price and you look at the other stock prices, they've all been tanking for quite a while. You know, this past year or so. It's Disney's nothing unique to Disney, is it? Come on.
Well, it kind of is actually, because Disney is down about 38% for the year, and that's worse than what the market has done for year to date. And in the last 1 year, they're down by even more. So Disney is seen right now by a lot of people as a value stock because it is undervalued right now. And typically, when a stock is undervalued by that much, it's mostly because of executive decision making and executive movements. So it's half in, half out, I feel like, with them. Again, Iger could be fired at any moment right now. Chapek right now. So it's not a lock solid thing. He has made some bad decisions in the parks and outside the parks, and stockholders and key people in the company are taking notice of that. They still want to give him more time, though. It's not all one way or the other.
And that's understandable.
Yeah. I also think how he handles the upcoming recession, if we do get one, like everybody's theorizing.
You guys are talking this into existence, aren't you? You guys really want one, don't you? Like all of you are dead keen on getting one. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep talking about it. So
Tommy, I got to tell you, I work for a financial firm. We're probably already in one. We just don't know it yet. So it's
it's not just our fault either. Thanks, China.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors.
Political boys.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else for this week's show?
Yes. Again, when you keep coming to Florida, when you gonna pay what you owe, man?
So, first of all,
When you
I've been
gonna
to
pay what?
South
Pay the
Florida
piper.
where the
Oh, you've been down with those Miami boys. You've been down
That's
there
right.
selling dope at the Pork and Beans. Okay.
I've been in Dade County
Okay.
and in Brevard County. That's right.
Oh, you over there in Dade County, huh? I got
But
cousins all over the state. You're gonna pay what you owe, son.
I am looking, Jay, at a trip. Maybe I'm not sure yet. Don't get your calendar out at later this month in July. Maybe.
No, wait till I'm there. Wait till I'm there.
You're gonna drop this on me? I gotta go get my suit. I gotta get it tailored. I got a whole entire ensemble I gotta put together, sir. And you just don't be warning people. You just come to the state haphazardly. Don't say nothing. Don't be like, yo.
It seems excessive for the Golden Corral that he's going to take you to. But
oh, God. If he takes me to the goddamn Golden Corral.
People are wearing suits to Minions now. They can wear a suit to Golden Corral, too.
Oh, my fucking God.
Chris, I'm there late August, first week of Mickey's Not So Scary.
This motherfucker.
Is that Labor Day?
No, before. It's August 18th to...
Okay. Well, my kid will be in school by then, so I can't do it that weekend. We'll see. We'll see. Jalen, don't get your hopes up. We'll see.
I need to know so I can make. So I gotta call in. I gotta get the surgery, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm still
okay.
from
We'll
surgery.
get you a wheelchair. We'll roll you down. I got a wheelchair at the house. We'll roll you over, motherfucker. We even got one of those good little lift vans. They got a little hydraulic lift on it. I'll call Gary, motherfucker. Gary will pull up on you, son.
Gary can help me out.
I'll call Gary son. He already got his shit fitted.
Yeah.
Like,
anything else on this
that note, I think we're done. I can't think of anything.
Ryan?
Yeah, I don't got much.
All right. Ryan, where can we find you online?
I am at Imagineer6 on Twitter.
Tommy, where can we find you?
At Tommy Hawkins, and then wherever else you can find me. Except Facebook. Don't follow me on Facebook.
Well, no, like Orlando Park Stop, and what else?
Oh, Orlando Park Stop. Touring plans, stuff I'd been doing. I had a busy week the other month. I was in like 3 different things all in the same week. It's very exciting.
What were you in?
I was in a Orlando Park Stop video. I was in a DSNY video but my info for Tron was used. And then I had a very good Sat6 touring plans article all in the space of 7 days. It was super exciting.
But you weren't on Mickey Views, were you?
Well, you say that because I dropped a graphic of the Tron, like the way the path is going to go through to, what's it called? The bit, what does it go through? The old walkway where people used to go smoke. What is that called?
Yeah.
What is it called? The
what's that? What's the land? The land that walks that you used to be able to walk to from
Toontown?
Oh, Toontown's Fair. Yeah, Toontown Fair.
Yeah.
So I dropped a graphic on Twitter, which, Jack used in his video and mentioned that it was from me. And then who decided that they needed to do a video talking about exactly the same thing that Jack had just done?
Boy.
And then used a graphic that was almost identical to the one that I did. Mickey Views. Not as good as the guy, some vlogger guy, and I kid you not, literally, he'd pretty much stolen, like verbatim, some of the scripts that Alicia had used on one of her videos, and then basically copied exactly my layout of Epic Universe, like and this was an old one, so it's the times have moved on since then, but it was like where City Walk 2 would go, where the parking lot would go, where the fourth park would go, and then proceeded in this video to drive around the perimeter of Epic Universe and go, oh yeah, that structure, yeah, that's going to be the hotel. And it's like, no, that's like Nintendo World. And just kept going around repeating all this stuff that was completely wrong. And
I don't know, Tommy.
stolen all my
like
graphics.
To me.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it really does. Yeah, I'm really bitter about that. Do I sound bitter? Do I sound super angry? Steam coming out my ears, guys.
Where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at TCJalen. You can find me on Instagram at Tom Mario's Child. And also, you can find me in Chris's motherfucking wallet.
And I don't want to get too deep
in the wallet.
You got deep pockets.
The 2x5.
Oh, Scrooge the McDuck, motherfucker.
I don't want to get too deep into this, but I feel remiss if I don't mention anything. Speaking on behalf of myself, not my other co-hosts, not for Mice Chat or anything else, but in recent weeks, it's important to reiterate that a woman's right to choose what she wants to do with her body is her right alone, and not mine, and not a politician's or anyone else's. And that's just how I feel personally. And we're aware that we are 4 men sitting on a podcast talking and joking about theme parks, but sometimes there are bigger things happening out there in the universe and in our country that I feel like I, myself, should address. And it's none of my business what a woman wants to do with her body, and it shouldn't be any of yours either. You can find me at Wakefield Report online. Send me your thoughts if you want to, or your hate mail or whatever else.
I'm going to piggyback off of that. If you're coming for Wakefield, I'll be right there. Y'all can come for me too. Because, again, it's a woman's right to do whatever the fuck she wants to do with her body. And if you got a motherfucking problem with it, then I don't know. Maybe go suck a dick. I really don't know. It's not your fucking business, dude. Worry about your own self. Worry about your own goddamn body. Half y'all frumpy anyway.
As we say.
And in summary, America, get your shit together.
I wholly agree. All right,
Ryan, you going to say something? You just going to be the one straight white dude on this podcast?
Ryan has no obligation to say anything at all.
No, Ryan's good. He doesn't have an opinion about what a woman does with her womb because he doesn't need one.
It's her. Thank you. That's a great way to put it, Tommy. It's none of our business as 4 men sitting on a podcast to worry about it. But when they have their rights taken away from them, it is our job, at least my job, as someone who has a daughter who will grow up in the society, to say something. And so I felt it was important to say that. That aside, we want to thank Mice Chat, Mice Pod very much for putting us on the air and putting up with all of our foul language and our.
If they don't pull the plug after this latest bleeping that I'm going to have to put in 5 minutes of bleeping, jailing that.
That's all we have for this week's show. We will see you all next time.